Hello, my friends. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Novella. Today we are live. I hope, I hope some people will pop up. I had some difficulty with hello, salut Elisabeth, comment vas-tu? I had some difficulty of setting up the live, but I hope this is okay. Do you hear me all right? Because I am using a microphone. Elizabeth, can you hear me? Just let me know if everybody can hear me and if I just have to do something else to. Oh, yeah, you can hear me. Today I'm not drinking coffee, I'm drinking an alcohol free beer from Lidl. I don't drink coffee anymore, actually, but that's mostly in the summertime. I don't drink coffee. Do you drink coffee, Elizabeth? So yeah. Just let me know who's in, and if you have any questions, shoot. If you want to talk about something, shoot. Let me know. I will happy to be your, let's say, your moderator. Um, so yeah, I haven't been reading much lately. I'm in a bit of a reading slump. So yeah, I although I have thousands of books, I can't find anything to read. That has never happened to you guys. Never. Yeah, I'm sort of a bit of a, yeah. I find it difficult. Thank you for my thousands. But you have reached that too, no? Elizabeth, thank you for your support, everybody. It really means a lot to me. It really does, because sometimes you have the feeling uh, one book a day. No, it's one book every other day, a reading slump. Yeah. Uh, but yeah, it means a lot because I'm doing this on my own. You know, you don't, none of your friends are watching, but that's for the most booktubers. People don't care about books. And, but still, you want to do something and you want to talk about something and you want to motivate people to read other kinds of books. That was my biggest motivation. My biggest motivation was to start a channel that talked mainly about books that haven't been translated into English and promote them and make sure that they will be translated, because I'm working on my 25 best books in 25 years. I believe Brian from Bookish has done it, Greg from another Booby File reads, and uh, oh, what's his name? But I don't really follow him. It's also a Greg, I believe. Um, and notice that a lot of no, but you do. Yeah, just you do make great content, Elizabeth. Hello, Jenny. So yeah, it's for me. It was always a dream to promote, especially Flemish authors, to get them translated, because mostly when they want to translate Dutch work, it's mostly from the Netherlands and less from Flanders. Our language is different. Our habits are different, but still, I want to promote it. So luckily, my first success will be 15th of September when Julian comes out by Fleur Piret. You will love that book, I'm pretty sure, and I'm so proud that this will actually happen. And now I am trying to get another book out from Gaia Scooters. But you have to know, I don't even know those actors, those writers in person. I just do it for the love of the books, not for the love of the writers. I don't care about writers, I care about books. And I'm hoping that I will find a translator for Gaia, because she is an amazing author and it's an amazing story. The book is called Trophy, and it's about a man who hunts on big game in Africa, but actually soon he is entangled in a whole lot of other things, and how it's more a book about how rich white people, use and abuse the locals, and that hunting on big game in Africa has nothing to do with preservation, but everything with flashing a lot of money and doing whatever you like. So yeah. So that is a book that I really want to get translated, because it's brilliantly written and it's shocking, and it's a mirror to all of us. And yeah, that's about it. I have to tell you, I'm reading a horror novel, but I have no idea what's it about. Do you guys have any questions? Because you're all so quiet. You're with 10, but it's so quiet. I need something to answer to. Otherwise, it will be a very short life. So I really hope that this book will be translated, The Commander by Sandro Veronesi, but it is a Veronesi book, so Veronesi will always get translated. This is also very important, very relevant today, and it's a beautiful, beautiful book. So this is about refugees that cross, in a way. This is written for Lampedusa, for everything that happens there when people want to flee from Africa. They take a boat, a very not very seaworthy boat, and they try to cross the Mediterranean Sea, and the first land they see is mostly Lampedusa. And this is the story about the commander of a submarine during the Second World War. The proportion of books that I read in English and Flemish is about 80-10. 80-10 is 80% French and 10% Dutch. 80-20, sorry. And how is my Garb August reading going, asks Jenny. It's going well. I'm currently reading a horror novel. I forgot to bring it with me. I don't even know what's it about, because I'm really just in it. It's set in the late 19th century in New York, and it's very gritty, that I can tell you. And it's about all the things that daylight can't see. The genres that I really don't like are fantasy. I don't like big world building stuff. Some science fiction when they explain a lot. That I don't really like. So the world building, everything that has to do with world building, I'm not interested. For me, a good book has to be crystal clear from the beginning, or not, but I don't want too much explanation. If you are clear in what you say, and sometimes in 2-3 sentences, you can build a whole universe. I don't have to know about the laws and about the way voting for a president is organized and stuff like that. That doesn't interest interest me. So fantasy is mostly very world building, and I just don't like the genre. Although I like very much what's the genre called? I forgot. Doesn't matter. Um, it'll come to me. And then I don't really like romance. I don't mind a little romance in a book, but it can't be the focus for me. Just, yeah, no, romance doesn't really do it for me. Yeah, that's about the two genres that I really don't read. Um, Science fiction, I like if it's like I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman, the Belgian author, or The Wall by Marlene Haushofer. Those are things that are science fiction, but you immediately understand how the world is built, and then it is just a backdrop. It's more about the people and what happens. Yeah, those are the most important things. I used to read a whole lot more historical fiction, and I don't do that enough. I really miss it, so I bought myself a couple of Kate Moss books. I hope they are good. I've never tried them, and I always watch her channel Moss on a Sunday, which I really like. And she gives really good tips, reading tips. You should check it out. And what I used to love when I was a teenager was war fiction. And yeah, it's just love. World building is something you love or you don't. So luckily, there are many types of readers. So you can enjoy your fantasy, and I will enjoy my contemporary, and we're all happy. And sometimes I will dip my big toe into some fantasy, but for now I haven't found the book that I really like. So, but I was talking about war novels. I will do soon a top 10 of that. And yeah, that's something I really, really, really enjoyed when I was like a teenager. And I quite like that. And I still love it. And magical realism, that I really love. That I really love. Magical realism. Strange. I know it's strange. Um, Science fiction, I loved it. Foundation, never heard of it. I will look that up. Yeah, some I really like. Well, this is not really science fiction. The Monster from Earth's End, I really enjoyed. But that's not really science fiction. That's more horror. It's about a plane that lands and everything has gone missing, but something weird was in the plane, a thing. And yeah, those things I really enjoy. Historical fiction. No, Dorothy Dunnett, I've never heard of even. So yeah, thank you for the tip. I will write that down. No, historical fiction was mostly local fiction, like from the Netherlands and Belgium, and not really American or English historical fiction. So yeah, can follow it, but I didn't like that at all. I found that more YA. And oh yeah, really. Oh, I will check that out. Thank you. So yeah, for us Dutchies or Dutch speaking, Thea Beckman is the big one. She wrote YA historical novels. Helle Haase is also good, but I haven't read anything about it. Or maybe something. Uruk, maybe? Is that Helle Haase? I think so. Yeah. yeah, there's so much to read, of course, but I really enjoy reading all kinds of stuff. And thanks to the channel, I read a whole lot more that I would never would ever even consider. Um, I That's the amazing thing. In Ascension, I've read it. I loved it. But and it made an impression on me, but not a very long-lasting one, I have to admit. And I'm not like Eric Carl or Carl Eric, who said, "Well, I want to." I immediately started rereading again. I really liked the Rotterdam part of the story because I know that area quite well, and that was really on point. The author must have lived there for a while or stayed quite a long time there. But I'm happy that um, it is nominated. That I'm glad, because I like that more genres are yeah considered. I do reread books, but very, very rarely. There's so much new stuff to read, and um, there's a book. Next year we will do a couple of rereads, like uh, which one is it? The oh, with the whale. Oh, come on, Moby Dick. with So historical fiction, the areas that I really, really love are the Middle Ages up to the 1800s. I really like what happened here in Flanders and the Netherlands. Those are things. It was such a fascinating time. A lot was happening here. But I also like to read about what happened in China and in Japan. But yeah, the rereadathon. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. That's a really good idea. We shall talk about this. um, oh, there was one I didn't see and it has vanished already. Well, let me see. Maybe I can follow my own on YouTube. But I will put my viewer channel. Voila. So I can see, and maybe I can see the. Allez. Oh no, that will be won't be possible. So yeah, I'm sorry. Anyway, um, yeah, I really enjoy especially 15th, 16th, 17th century books, like the book that I just finished, 1400 pages, but so brilliantly but written. Um, we need to silencing the judging books. Yeah, well, I know that there are a lot of people that are disappointed that Demon and Copperhead or Burnham Wood are not nominated. But then again, sometimes I think a jury wants to set its own course and wants to promote other books. Although I'm not impressed by every book that's on the list. Old God's Time is beautiful, but is it good enough to win? No, but it's a good book. You won't regret reading it. I read The House of Doors, of course, which I absolutely adore. What a beautiful book by Tantuan Eng. In Ascension could win, and I would understand it. It's a different kind of science fiction, and I always applaud new ways of telling stories. That's always good. But yeah, but other, like I also read Alcibiades. Alcibiades is this big third by my favorite author, Ilya Leonard Pfeiffer. He wrote the, the biography, the fake biography of Alcibiades, and it really reminds me of the Memoirs of Adrian, which I also loved. This one is a bit similar, but not similar in a way. Leonard Pfeiffer has his own. Hello, everybody. Has his own way of writing, of course. Though it's yeah, but Steve trusts nothing. But he is right. Like the Nobel Prize, he just proved that if you nag long enough, you can win a Nobel Prize. And therefore, I mean, the singer who won his Nobel Prize, who doesn't really is known to writing his own lyrics, I believe. But yeah, there is one that I really care for, and that's the European Prize for Literature, which is totally different. They have a totally different taste than the International Booker and the Booker, and yeah, there's so many awards, and I really like their taste. So I'm glad that a couple of books that I really love are nominated, and I'm looking forward to see them win. I think it's in September, I believe. My favorite is by Mohammed Mbugarsar, which is a very exciting young African author. And he wrote a magnificent story, and it is coming out, I believe, in September. The Deepest Memory of Man, or something like that. Or the deepest. Wait, let me try to look it up. Goodreads. Hope you don't mind. Let me see. Mohammed Mbugarsar. La plus secrète mémoire des hommes. And then we have here book details. When is it coming out? 42 editions. The Most Secret Memory of Man will be published the 26th of September by Simon & Schuster. You will enjoy it. It's so novel and great. What a story and what a pen. I love this book, The Most Secret Memory of Man. It will come out end of September. Suggestions for someone new to reading? Well, think of what interests you in life, like your hobbies, or do you like animals, for instance? Well, read about those things. First, start reading about the things you're really interested in, and maybe start with short novels, and then continue developing your taste and try different genres and see what your tastes is like, because you don't really know when you start. Oh, that must be a wonderful feeling of discovering every new genre that's out there. There's so many things. And being consistent in your reading, well, that depends on you. Maybe you take the train every single day. Well, make sure you have the train, your book on the train, or if you want to be with other readers, reading sprints. Oh yeah, but I don't need that. I have reading sprints for other people. Yeah, Uh, my sweet orange tree. Not many people know it. Ah, interesting. But I've heard of it. I've heard of it, and I think it's good. And I also hope that Feria will be translated. That's a very published, a very popular recent book from Spain. And yeah, I want to see what it's about because it's also very, without her paying attention, but it became also very political, and I want to see what the fuss is about. So Feria, I don't know what the author's name is. Let me see. Anna Iris Simon, I believe. Yeah, I think that's the one. Not sure. I think so. Anyway, what else? Drop your questions. I hope I've seen everything. Excuse me. So yeah, just Alamut bij Vladimir Bartol. Ah. Well, thank you, Melon. Historical fiction. Well, that's interesting. I love historical fiction. But I've noticed, and that's a question I want to ask you guys. So, like the last couple of years, the books were mostly between 160, 200. The kittens. It's only one has passed away. That passed away on its 8th day of being on Earth. And the kitten is Vita is doing great. Maybe I should have named her Valium because she is very, very vital. I've never had a kitten that is so energetic, and that's a very nice way of putting it. Now, what was I about to say? Yeah. What's something? I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, that was the question. So I noticed the last of yeah. The last question. My question is, the last couple of years the books were rather short, like this. 160 pages, 260 pages. But now I have the feeling that the authors are going back to the more chunky books. Is that an idea of mine, or is that a fact? So I have here like wild and true relation, stuff like that. That's also quite chunky. I have the feeling that current books are more bulkier. Am I wrong, or is that just me who thinks that? Let me know. I would like to know. And yeah, I've read a lot of books already this year, 200. I'm at 200 already. But I'm in a bit of a reading slump. But yeah, I actually things on the genre, but I think a lot more. Yeah, I know. In the French publishing, it's mostly short, like the Belgian author. I want to say Amélie Poulain, but it's. I think it's they are repetitive, and a lot could be edited out. That's for sure. Like In Ascension could have been shorter and better. That's for sure. That is. I think if they would submitted or omitted 50, 60 pages, it would have been even better. And I don't like reading on the Kindle because I've noticed that I like to know where exactly in a book I am. So yeah, you can close your app and then but I like to feel it. I like to like here you feel that, oh, it's I'm nearly there. I'm nearly at the end. What will happen now? You know, so I quite miss that. I miss what our author got me into reading. Um, Thea Beckman. Thea Beckman. Uh, she is Sam. Tell me, it's true, huh? She was really important for the youth to read, and also Annie M. G. Schmidt. Um, yeah, it's those are the authors that were really important. Do I know Simenon? Yes, of course I know Simenon. I have read a couple of, but they're not quite my genre. He's very good at atmosphere and, but I think his plots are often very weak. But I like the way he sets a scene and he sets his world. You immediately know what is happening. You can feel it, you can taste it, see it, smell it. That's really good. But Kruistocht in Spijkerbroek, of course. And Tonke Dracht was also very, yeah, also phenomenal. But yeah, Kruistocht in Spijkerbroek. I've reread that recently, and I was so for the people who aren't Dutch, it's a story about a boy who uses a time machine and he is sent to the Middle Ages and he arrives in the middle of a children's crusade. That's something that apparently happened. So there was a children's crusade and he is there with his jeans on, so it means crusade in jeans. That's the title. And I reread it very recently, last year, and I was shocked by how brutal it was and how many deaths, and there was hunger and misery and oh my god, but it still was fascinating. And I think that was also a discussion I had with Ollie from Graham and Ollie, that books like covers like these with a naked woman, that's now it's not possible anymore. I find that really weird. And there are things that were normal in especially if you lived in my part of the world. The movies in the 80s, those were quite different than in the 23s. You know, it's were yeah, it was way more provocative, and yeah, now it's more. Ooh, we can't say this, we can't say that. Of course, there's some things. Uh, it doesn't have to be rude to others, but it can be. Um, yeah, more exciting in a way, without um, hurting others. Um, the only philosopher that I really love and I really understand for me, and uh, that's my hero, is Spinoza, Baruch Spinoza. He was Dutch. Well, Dutch. No, actually, he was Portuguese. A Portuguese Jew that fled for, um, yeah, the Catholics, and he went to, yeah. Spinoza is magnificent, and really, really like him. I also like Erasmus. Kant, not so much because I don't understand everything. I'm not that bright. I like Hannah Arendt, but Spinoza is the Kierkegaard. I've never read. I can't even tell. But Spinoza is yeah, an amazing thinker, and he was so daring to say during the time that Christianity was forced upon the people, and there were witch hunts and everything. And he dared to say, well, actually, I believe that God is nature. And the Bible is just a guide to live as a decent person. Oh, can you imagine how daring that is to say that? And he wasn't, prosecuted for that. But thanks, maybe that was because he lived in the Netherlands. But anyway, I always find Spinoza a fascinating figure, and he is right. He is always right. But Spinoza is one of the most amazing thinkers that ever lived. And the covers are very political correct now and often very lazy. I miss a good cover. I miss a cover where they at least try to do something with it. There are some really good cover designs, but most of them are really, really lazy. So yeah, any other questions? Well, once again, I really want to thank you all for taking the time and watching my videos, reacting, and being always so positive. It's amazing to see. I live quite a solitary life, so I work from home, so I don't see people, and don't see many people. Yeah, in the evening when I go for a walk. But an Indian writer that caught you? No, but please, if you can, give me tips. And I really want to read Odafe. Oh yeah, I have bought a book by Odafe, but I can't find it. I wanted to buy one, but I can't find it. And I really want to read Indian historical fiction, if that is possible. If you can find me and tell me what I can read that is translated into English, Indian historical fiction. I want to know more about what has happened in India, because, you know, a lot must have happened before the Brits came. And there were so many kingdoms and a fine balance. I have that book and I wanted to read it, but I haven't done it yet. So if somebody wants to better read, I'm all for it. That's fine balance is not known here. Not at all. Nobody ever talks about that book. It's also not translated in so Nakul, if you can give me tips, please do. That's an area of the world. Like India is such a vast country. It must have a vast history. It has a vast history, but but I don't. Modern day, I like Indian books, and there's also the murder mystery books. I really like them. Amish Tripat. Okay, I will look that up. Thank you very much. I will look that up because I really am interested in that part of the world. So I wanted to thank you for being there always and commenting and liking so much, because like almost half of the people that watch my movies, my clips, put a thumbs up, and that's a lot. That really is a lot. So thank you very much. What else? Do I have? Oh, she is also very good. The one that asked me about philosophy. This is um, a Polish philosopher that writes in Dutch, Alicia Jasinska, of Jasinska. She is a very good thinker and a very intelligent woman, and I really want to read more of her. She is born in Warsaw in 81, and she is one of the young philosophers in Belgium and Holland. And this is about a kind of love. Um, so yeah, it's about love. So she is also one to follow. She's a very bright lady. Um, so yeah, that's a bit it. Are there any more questions? I will wait. Muffin is here waiting. She's always next to me. She's waiting for me to go for a walk. I went to Antwerp yesterday, so I didn't see much of Muffin, but luckily now she has her bestie Vita. Turkish literature, I haven't read that much. I've read a couple. And I'm now we mostly can read Turkish literature, but from immigrants that now live in Belgium, and well, they're not immigrants; they're often second or third generation, but they are they are very close connected to the Turkish country, and they are very exciting authors, and I always try to read them. Uh, a memoir I won't write, but I'm always writing, and I really need to kick myself more on the butt because I have a lot of connections to get my book read. So I really need to finish my last draft because I'm maybe I'm a bit scared. It's a bit strange to say, but yeah, I can be a bit scared sometimes. I don't look it, but I am. So yeah, Turkish pamuk, of course, is good. But there are some very exciting new from Turkish authors or from Turkish descent, and they are very, very interesting authors. Um, yeah, no, they're usually not translated, or well, it all, you know, um, Elif, Elif Shafak sucks. Well, you know, people like Elif Shafak are very important, even if you don't like them. They are important for the young authors in Turkey, or no matter where in Middle Eastern territory. She is an example that it is possible. And there only have to be one young little writer who thinks I can do better than her, and then because there is an Elif Shafak, authors can quickly or get more easily into the publishing world, and that is yeah, Argentinian authors are phenomenal. But they also have a reading culture. Um, Same as for Polish. Um, the Polish people are very into reading still. It's very important, and that's why they have so many brilliant authors. But people like Elif Shafak are important to. In the shadow, a lot of other young authors will maybe get a chance because they want to find the next Elif Shafak. And yeah, that will give a boost to yeah, Arabic and Turkish authors. And you know, a country that is never on the maps is like Greece. There are yeah, Gospodinov is also very important. But like Greece, I never hear something coming from Greece. They must, they must have good authors too. But maybe it's because, and that we have to be honest, um, Greece is Greek is not an easy um, uh, language to translate. So yeah, maybe that is the problem. And yeah, it also depends on the language. Dutch, more and more people from the Netherlands speak perfectly English as well, or are educated in English, and then the translations to into English from Dutch into English is better. Same for Icelandic and all the Nordic countries. Those translations are getting better and better because yeah, there's also more competition, and yeah, it's something we have to be patient, and we will discover more, like with Cartarescu from Romania. I hope we can discover other excellent authors from Romania, and the same goes for Bulgaria or Elif Shafak, or if there are Indian authors that are very popular, suddenly they will bring in their shadow other young people. Look at North Korea. How fast is it going for South Korea? How fast is it? Yeah, how fast is it going for them? A lot more books from South Korea we can read now, and from Japan, which is a huge, huge nation. I hope we can see more from Sri Lanka and from Bangladesh and from, I don't know, Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan. And I hope we can read all those local stories so our world will become even bigger and more interesting and exciting. And yeah, I'm looking forward to read all those things. I'm also hoping that we, yeah, yeah, they are very popular, but that's because the translations of Japanese books are also getting better and better and better, especially for us, like Dutchies. We, if you 20 years ago, if you would read a Dutch book in English, you would say, oh, this is so badly translated. The same goes for one of the best books in Flanders, War and Turpentine. It is translated, but the tone of voice is completely wrong. And yeah, it's so badly translated. But then now more and more things are getting better. And hello, Lee. Good morning. But I'm almost closing. My favorite Belgian author. I find that a very difficult question. I find that a very difficult question. The best author we have for now is Tom Lanois. He is amazing. The best Belgian author we had was Willem Elschot. He is phenomenal. He is phenomenal. He was phenomenal. He wrote in the 20s. He was really good, really good. And Tom Lanois is our current author, but he's also now in his 60s. He's really well established, and I'm really looking forward to discover new authors like Lara Taverne or Gaia Scooters. This is a book that I really want to see translated. Fleur Piretz is also a very good author. And yeah, there are so many brilliant authors. Um, but, and that's a real problem, and that's pure politics. I live 6 kilometers from the Walloon country, which is Francophone. And it's impossible almost to find books from Walloon authors in Dutch. French authors, no problem. Walloon authors, it's a big no-no. And I don't get it. There must be so many wonderful Walloon authors. Yes, there's a big difference in style between Flemish and Dutch authors. Oh yeah, there's a huge difference. It's like the difference in acting style. I find often Flemish authors can really speak to the heart. We are more warm-blooded than the Dutch. The Dutch can be really harsh and straight to the point, and we are more meandering. Limburg, Brabant, they're the best people I know. They're very friendly. No, there is a difference. There really is a difference, and I think our style is closer to the French style than the Dutch style. The Dutch style is yeah, it's more direct. Although my favorite authors are Dutch, like Leonard Pfeiffer, Connie Palmen, de consequenties van of Nina. Lieke Marsman is phenomenal. Yeah, but it's because Dutch often look down on Flemish authors. They also think that a Dutch author has to live in Amsterdam and to be in the in crowd, and if you're not, it's more difficult. So yeah. Yeah, that bothers me. So it bothers me that from our other part of our small country, we can't read things in Dutch, and they don't get the attention that they receive, and that they deserve. And but there are some wonderful Cindy Klaas. Yeah, it's a bit of an odd area for us. It's very right wing, so I don't really go there. Yeah, it is very exotic. We use completely and I find the difference between Dutch and Flemish. It drifts apart, and that's because of television. When I was growing up, we had 5 channels. We had the Belgian TV in Flemish, the Belgian TV in French, and then we have the Dutch channels. There were 2 channels then, and then we had a German channel, and that was it. So we were obliged to watch each other's programs. And I feel that we are drifting apart. Although there are a lot of Flemish people now on TV because they like our way of making documentaries and stuff. And yeah, it's always subtitled in Flemish is always subtitled because we pronounce also our vowels differently. And I'm sure that if I speak in my dialect, nobody will understand me in the Netherlands, because it's a completely different language. It's a completely different language. Even the vocabulary, the grammar is different. Everything is different. But it's a beautiful language because it's more close to South Afrikaans. So yeah, um, I'm glad to see you all. I'm really humbled by your presence, and I hope you found this very enjoyable. I did, at least, but my puppy is asking for a walk, and my battery is running low on my phone. So, yeah, thank you so much for being there and for supporting me and keeping up my curiosity. And yeah, I hope we can learn a lot from each other. And that's that's the whole idea. It's more, you don't have to watch me for all the most popular books. That's not necessary. There are so many good channels that do that already. But I want to do something different, and you might like it, you might not like it, but at least there's a conversation going, and there's a beautiful interaction. And I thank you all. You are wonderful people. And keep on reading. And yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And congrats to Lotte for winning the World Championship cycling. Thank you. Bye bye.